So I'm getting ready to go get that trailer, so I got to order up some new studs. So I went ahead and knocked out all the studs in the drum, getting ready to put new ones in. And I needed one out so I could measure them, find out what they are, so I could, find them and get them coming. So this is what I found here. This is the measurements for it. I was able to find them. It's kind of a, I wouldn't say special, but unique to these brake drums, this particular size, because there's only just a handful of people that had these, and they weren't cheap. So I was able to find them basically for 8 lug nuts and 8 studs, because I don't want to trust the lug nuts, So 8 lug nuts, 8 studs was 45 bucks per wheel, and I have to do 2 wheels. And the other side, I was told that they were loose as well, just not this loose where they came apart like that. But I measure the drum and I feel the drum, and there's like no wear on this. It's just rust from sitting, because when this happened, they didn't really want to spend any money. They don't use a trailer. So I looked at them, I pulled the bearings out and inspect them, and the bearings look okay. I cleaned them up a little bit and gave them a, wipe down and see what they were, and got the numbers off it. And by the time I figured out putting new seals in and all the lug nuts and the studs and cleaning these up and then cleaning up the drums, I found drums for $87 a piece shipped to my door. Now granted, these are China, these are China as well, so I didn't gain anything. I'm not any better than I was, but these are $87 shipped to my door, and they came with seals, inner bearings, outer bearings, dust cap, boot for the dust cap, and all new lug nuts for 87 bucks. So I went ahead and went this route, and I'm just gonna put 4 new drums on. These ones I'm still gonna buy this stuff, but I got something else in mind that I can use them on, so it's not gonna be a loss. It'll be a cheap investment for the project that I can use them on. And I also went to my storage shed I have 4 brand new backing plates, 2 lefts and 2 rights, for this 7,000 pound axle. So it's probably going to get new brakes too, and again, those ones weren't bad, so we'll just set them with that. It'll be fine. And I went ahead and ordered new wheels, which they've shown up, so we're going to take these tires off. Now these rims that were on here were your standard 14,000 pound equipment trailer rim with a pull-in, pull-through valve stem. And I don't remember where I saw it on this tire. Here it is. Load max load capacity here. It's 110 psi, 4,400 pounds. You can't get 100. This isn't rated for 110 psi. It's supposed to be a bolt-in situation to get to 110 psi. So if you put 110 on this tire, that rim's probably not rated for 110 either, which is so rusty I can't even see the stampings. But that would be the failure point. But since I was going to order new wheels, I ordered ones that are heavy enough with bolt-in valve stems already in it. You can just see just how bad this really is here. And as far as this center wearing on that hub, I measured that hub, and it's really almost no wear whatsoever on that hub. That was funny how that cast iron was stronger than this stamped steel, I guess. So now we're going to get these dismounted. I've already broke down the bead on both sides on both tires, so we're going to go ahead and get some soap on the back bead, and we'll start getting these changed over so we can go get the trailer. So we got these tires off the old damaged rims, and they're a 14 ply sidewall, 14 ply tire. And it's obvious because when you go to take this off, the sidewall is so stiff, and that bead, look how thick that bead is. It's a very tough tire, and the DOT date on them is 2017. So if you're running these commercially, you'd probably be out of date or getting close. They're 6 years old, but they also have some accelerated wear on the inside here, which could be from running with them lug nuts loose. I guess it could do that much damage in a short amount of time. You can see how it's just still there, but the line is full here, but just barely right there. So, and these were mounted like, so it would have been like this. So we have to keep in mind we could have bent axles because they're both the same way, but I remember looking at the other tires on the other side. I don't remember seeing that. So when we mount them, we'll mount them like this. So this will be the inside edge now, and then we can hopefully start wearing these even. I would just replace them, but you know, we're not going to use this trailer that many miles, so if it had this accelerated wear, and we don't know when that started, how long it's been doing that, but we'll just be mindful that the axles could be bent. And this is always the case on trailers. We're always concerned about bent axles, but they are a good heavy tire, even though they are made over the pond, made by the C. Heine company. Yeah, there you go, 47th week of 17. So what's that make it? It's 23 right now, so that's 6 years old. 7 years is DOT standards for commercial trucks, I think. But we'll make sure they're okay. I mean, we're using them privately, so it shouldn't be a big deal. That one's an 18, 6th week of 18, so it's a little bit newer. But we'll see. We're gonna put them on and try them anyways. Worst case, I got to put axles under it, and if I do, well then, you know, I'll run these tires until they're done. But we'll just be mindful. If we start seeing this edge wear off like this one did, then we'll know we need to, if we don't see it, you know, with an inspection of the axle. Let's get these mounted up on these. And you see these here, these new ones, we have a bolt-in valve stem, and we've had right here, you have 4,480 pounds. All right, we got the old tires off, or tires off the old rims, and it was a struggle. These sidewalls are so stiff on these things, it's just awful. And going back on, it was difficult too. If ever a tire would make me want to have a tire machine, these will be it. And we still have, once we get the trailer back, we have 2 more of these to do, and we are not looking forward to that at all. This may be a time where I actually pay somebody to do it. Famous last words.
Well, you don't want to scratch up your...
No, I don't want to scratch up these rims either. That was the biggest thing, is the sidewalls just don't want to go down below the bead and stay there. They just want to keep, you know, stay flat, but whatever. This is why I'm replacing lug nuts. You can see the damage it did, and several of these, the edges are rounded off too, where like they tried to get a socket on there, but it was the wrong side or something slipped. But regardless, I got all new ones now. And next step is going to be to get our bearings cleaned up. I'm going to clean all the inside of the hub. We're going to pack our bearings, get everything ready to go, install the seal, and so we can drive up and go get these. I have to make a change to the 1-ton Dodge that I just got, because this is kind of weird. The next step is we got to make a change. This truck, this bed has never had a 7-pin connector back here. I don't want to take the time right now to put a 7-pin connector back here. So what we're going to do is come off the one that's up here, and we're just going to make an extension cord, or make a cord that can plug into here, because this is a good new 7-pin. And we'll bring it back, let it lay on the deck, and we'll bungee cord it somehow, figure something out to where it can just hang down here and plug into our trailer plug. There's nothing down low either. So, and one of the reasons I'm not going to do that right now is I am considering pulling this bed off and making some changes to the hitch, and maybe clean the frame up and repaint it, because I'd really like this truck to be around for a while because of the fact that, you know, it is such low miles. But let's make us an extension cord real quick. This is what I'm going to use for my cord. It's got 4 14 conductors and 3 12 gauge conductors. And my bed is 9 foot 6 inches long, but I have to come up a foot to the 7-pin and then down a foot or more at the back. So that would make it, you know, right around 11 feet. I'm going 14 just so I have room to like wrap it around things if I need to. So I'm going to cut it right here. I'm going to use these ratchet cutters. These are made by Klein. These are the absolute best cutters you can get for anything with any real substance to it. Alright, so if you pay attention here, you'll see these are almost mirror opposite You see the colors don't match up. You have brown, then you have red, and here you have red, then you have brown. And that's something to be conscientious about, because they're not going the same place this way. They're going like this. So when you turn them around the opposite way, like they're supposed to be, then they line up. And that's a common mistake a lot of people make, and then they can't figure out why their lights aren't working or whatever. Everything's wrong and backwards. So just be mindful of that. We have marker lights, we have left turn, that's ground. This one here is trailer brake, this is right turn, and this is our battery charge line, and then the black one in the center is our backup. So now we're ready to put this in. Now I got an extra connector male end for the trailer just in case we need it. I don't know what to expect when we get there. We're going to take some extra tools and test lights and stuff, because we may have to adjust the hitch up and down, or we may have to do some wiring to make the lights work. I have no idea. Now that I got all the ends back together, I'm going to test it. I've got it plugged into the truck now. So the test light I'm using, you'll see I have a red terminal and a black terminal. This test light can take power and ground both, and it illuminate one LED on the light that you can see right there. And then there's a second LED that when you touch the tip of the test light to whatever you're testing, it will light up separately. If it's power, it lights up red. If it's ground, it lights up green. So what I'm doing is testing the one turn signal, which I believe I'm testing the right hand turn. Then I'm going to test the marker lights, the charge line for the battery charge, for the breakaway, and now I'm going to turn on the other turn signal so I can test that side. And then after that, because I'm using the test light on the battery charge line, I know it works. And I had my wife come out and hit the brakes, and that little LED light is not enough to illuminate with the trailer brakes. It's kind of a goofy system, so sometimes you got to use an incandescent light instead of an LED, but everything tested out good, so we're ready. I got new inner seal. It's a new washer from behind the nut, new dust cap, and a boot. New outer, new inner bearing, and I'm going to reuse your old nut, and I'm going to reuse the old washer because it's quite a bit bigger. I don't know, I'll take both with me and we'll see. I know it's a bit unconventional, but hey man, you gotta save a buck where you can. All the bearings are packed, everything's ready to go, so I'm just going to put these dust caps in, just kind of sitting on there just to keep the crap out. We're going to put them back in a box and put them in the back seat, and we'll take our secret sauce with us. Get some towels yet, and a few tools. Better take this with me. I like buckets, man, they just work well when you're going on a road trip like this to do work. Got our adjustable 5/16, 2 5/16 ball and a pintle hook combo, and then that trailer has an adjustable hitch that we can move down. So I've got, I brought the socket and ratchet for that pintle hook as well, for this one and on the trailer. Got my 7-pin up here, I think it's okay. I kind of knotted it, tied it in so it won't come loose. And I got my tires strapped down, they should be fine. I'm taking hand cleaner, a couple gloves. I got some water up front to wash my hands, and we got our drums. I was gonna put them in the boxes, but they wouldn't fit in here, so I'm just laid them on the floor. I got plenty of tools here. I got my travel box over there. I got towels and some of the things that wouldn't fit. Some brake parts cleaner, a couple extra lights for the rear just in case, some extra wiring stuff, and a jack, the impact, extra battery. I think we're ready to go. So we're headed out to go get the trailer. I'm going to stop and get some fuel. 42.7 gallons. This is another thing that Dodge does well. This thing has a 52-gallon rear tank in it. They created it with one single tank. They had an option for a 22-gallon midship tank too, but this one doesn't have that. But we're good to go. Let's get on the road. Let's see if we can get that trailer. Well, you come through this valley, you can see the leaves changing. Won't be long now. Maybe into winter. That sucks. because that really slows down well, it gives me more time, but it slows down the amount of work I can do outside, like my paint work and stuff like that. But it is what it is. Alright, we are back. So first thing we're going to do is clean all this grease off of this spindle that was on it already. So I'm just going to take them bags I put on and try and squeeze as much of that grease off and leave it right in the bag. There we go. I brought this bag to put all of our greasy rags in so we don't have it stinking the truck up all over. Seeing how we got fresh bearings and fresh grease, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to contaminate it with anything on this. So we'll clean that off real good. Just like so. Then I'll hose it down with some brake parts cleaner. The brake linings actually look just about as thick as the replacement, so maybe we don't need to do brakes on it. I'm sure we'll have some other repairs that need done. I didn't see anything bent, so that's good. I switched trucks, so I don't have any cribbing, so I hope that goes up high enough. If not, I'm going to have to put the spare tire down here or something. Just about ready. Probably a smarter thing to have done was to hit that grease with the grease gun, that fitting, and let it blow the dirty grease out of here too. We'll have to live with good enough to get her home. I see there's some grease on that magnet too. We'll have to get that off there. Just from that being over greased, I think that's all that was. Alright, be honest now. How many of you people actually thought I was going to use cottage cheese for grease? Be honest now. I know there was a bunch of you that was going for that keyboard, gonna start typing away. And there was other of you that probably went right to Google and said, and was typing in, can cottage cheese or French onion dip, that's what that is. Can French onion dip be used as grease? Some of you guys were already Googling it. Yeah, well, get all that grease off here. Just because we're doing a repair out in the middle of nowhere doesn't mean it's got to be crap. What's that say? Friendly farmer. Best grease you can get. Grease seal is lubed up, as is the place where it rides. Right there. Drop it. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Get the channel locks. So the significance of backing this off is you have to remember that these bearings, when they get hot, they're going to expand, so they're going to need some more room. So people that think you need to make these tight so there's no play aren't considering the fact that those rollers are going to expand, as are the races. So you go from quarter to half turn. Like, let's see, snug is right about here, so a half a turn would be right about there, which that's a little more than I like. So I'll come up to here so I can get a counter pin in right there. That's what I like right there. This is one of them diagonal counter pin deals too. I think that's going a little farther. Every tool I own has a hammer side. I can usually get these on pretty good, but without damaging them, but not that one. That is pretty thin. Compliments of the C. Heine company. So we're going to jack this up now and put some wheels on it. Get all my mess picked up on this one. Move it over there. Certainly is a nice day to do this. Did we ever answer why these brushes never make it to the bottom? I end up getting brushes from Lowe's for soldering paste for plumbers, the plumbing department, because they're longer, and I usually just break the center of this cap out and just run the plumber's brush down in there. Alright, let's get us a wheel. So we'll stop along the way and recheck these tires just to be sure that they're that the lug nuts are tight, because they're pressed in the back of that hub. They may not be seated all the way, so we'll want to double check that. And we'll check the other side too. Let's get this other wheel assembled. Okay. Now he's going to recheck the other side, make sure it's okay. I'm going to hook up and check lights. Hopefully we don't have a lot of lighting issues, but we will see. Well, I got the beginnings of a turn signal. I guess it works. Try the other side. Well, that works better. I don't think I have an intermediate one though. Yeah, this one's not working on either side. I think I got enough to get home without any trouble. At least people can see me. I think they're using the ground on the coupler instead of through the 7-pin. That's what it's acting like. When I turn the turn signal on, or I turn the marker lights on, then I lose turn signals. We're on our way home, and it's got some lighting issues as far as maybe some wiring at the rear of the trailer, because something's not quite right. The front marker lights work, the back ones don't, and then there's really something goofy going on with the trailer brakes. I don't know. So we'll have to look into that, but we'll just take it easy, nice and slow home. I do have turn signals and brake lights, that's what's important. And I can stop at plenty because we're empty. Let's stop here, check everything out, check the hubs, see what they're like. See if they're warm. Nope. Cold. Looks like my lights are a little bit better, not fantastic, but they're working a little bit better. Nice and cool. That one's a little warm right there. That one might be a little, well, we are leaning down nose heavy, so that would explain that. But look at the wear on the tires. It's not wearing on the inside. You can see how the dirt is there. It looks pretty good. It's like it's riding right in the middle because there's no load on it, you know, so the tire's kind of crowned a little bit. Check the coupling, make sure it's okay. Then we'll continue on home. Pins, chains. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, head on home. So the first thing I'm going to do with testing is do away with this rusty connector here. You never know if there's just a little bit of rust down in here making contact or something. It's bad, I'm going to replace it anyway, so we'll start with fresh cut, clean wires. And now we're going to use a outside power source to power up each one of these and test it on the way down so we can eliminate the truck from the issue. When I took this apart, this is the way it was wired, and this was just set back. I cut it, but there's nothing charging this breakaway battery. So if you had a failure and the breakaway pulled out of here, out of the switch, and the trailer came away from your tow vehicle, there's no way these brakes would ever apply because this battery was not being charged. They have it tied in. This is a blue wire and this is a black. Like this black is supposed to be your charge line, which would be right there, but it ain't been hooked up in forever. Alright, outside power source, ground to the trailer frame, second ground coming here to our white, which should be our ground for everything, and we have power off of this side coming into the parking lights. So now we'll see what we got for parking lights. That works. That works. Nothing. Looks like maybe the problem's at this splice right here at the turn signal. Nothing. 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 And nothing. So first thing we're going to do is go in where this splice is. And you know, that's missing a ground, so there's probably part of the reason why this one doesn't work. Let's look at the other side. Yeah, that explains a few things. So we'll cut all this crap out, we'll repair it. We'll just repair as we go back. Tarnished wire like this will not solder, so you have to clean it. So I'll take and spread them apart and take a razor blade and just drag it across to get them cleaned up. I'll show you what I mean. So there's what it can clean up with, like if you just use a razor. See how that one's still a little funky, still needs cleaned up, but this one's ready to solder. Alright, so we have nothing coming out of here. I should have checked it here before I soldered it, but not a big deal. There is a connection up front, and that's where we're going to go, because there's actually a connector there, molded connector. We'll see what we got. Well, here's their molded connector, and it tees off and hits these two front markers, which one front marker works, one doesn't, but we're going to take it apart and see what kind of signal we got in here. That's a nice connector, nice and clean, no crud, and I got that power on my ground. I have power on my marker light, I should say, and I do have a ground here, a good ground. Now I'm just going to go ahead and check all this. So it looks like I didn't see any spots where it rubbed through, but there are a couple spots. You see where this goes to the ring terminals here, where it's rubbed. I'll show you some bad ones. So I'll just go from marker to left turn. Let's see what we got here. Okay, left turn's working. I know we got a bulb not working back here. Hard the bulb. That's our turn, so let's keep on moving backwards. I guess actually we're gonna do the other side turn signal now. Nothing left of that. I just barely touched it and it fell apart, so we'll cut this off and solder on a new one. We'll test the right turn. Putting on the green. Let's see what we got back here. That's working. And nothing down here. Okay. So I guess we'll start. Oh, look at that. That's a oh, look at that. It works. Okay. So we got a connection issue here. It's really, really loose. Let's get a look at the back of this. See how cruddy it is? It's not really. Alright, we're going to tighten that up. See how it does. That's working good. Let's put it on marker now. This one's not working. That one's not working. Back on marker. That's working. It's working. And nothing. Alright, so we're going to need a light here. Yeah, I can wiggle it. Yeah, it's tight now. Well, I'll test this just to be sure we got signal here. Well, I had marker light in this one just for a second, and then that was it, so I'm not sure what happened. But I have no marker lights from here back. None of the corners work, which this one's corroded off, so that explains that, but this one's not, and it doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. So I guess I'm going to that splice above the axle, which I hate to, because it's a heat shrink one. I don't know what to expect under there. So it's a sealed harness, but you know, they did a really crappy job of protecting it. Like, it lays in these rings here. You can see how it's doesn't show up much on camera, but it's got a pretty good rub in it. I'll have to clean that up and look and see if it's through. Well, I wonder if it has anything to do with this. There's a problem with the trailer brakes too, as far as my truck's concerned. It says check trailer brake wiring, so I guess we'll have to do that too. Now I got the heat shrink off of it. I guess it'll tell a better story now. This is the importance of deox. Look at that. So none of the marker lights going to the rear are going to work at all. And looks like this one is 8 through right here for the green, which is a side of mine that does not work. It feels like I'm going to be able to pull that apart. Yeah, that's 8 through. Alright, let's cut that open. Well, I didn't need to cut it. I just pulled on it, and as you can see, that's what we got. So I'm going to assume that all these are about the same. And this is why we're having troubles. Look at all them grounds coming into one. Wow. This is why heat shrink isn't enough. These aren't even soldered. That's one of the little crimp connectors. The barrel. God, look how bad that is. Well, we're not going to leave it like that. I jumpered that bad connection with a test lead. So now we need to go look at the back and see if anything works back there. So all I'm going to do is connect these together and with a butt connector, because my plans for this trailer will require me to remove all of this, and I want to address all of this type of stuff at the same time. So there's no need to spend any real time on this. I just needed to test it to make sure it works, and it does. But this is exactly why I say all the time, heat shrink is not enough. You know, we need deox in here, something to fight corrosion. I've never cared for trailers that have a single jack in the middle. I like, especially this being 31 feet, I like the jack out on the either side of the tongue, you know. So maybe that's something we'll look at changing. It's already got the output for another one, so we could probably put a second one on, just move that over, and then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and get rid of this big ugly thing that's unnecessary. We don't need that. Cut it off. There's an I-beam right here, and then we can cut this off. I'll have to do some repair here on these light boxes. I don't know why there's two. We don't need one. I could probably get rid of this one and put a 3/4 LED right there. That'd be just fine. Get rid of these. The rub rail's not bad. It's got a few places where it's pushed in just slightly, but we can fix that. It's not a big deal. That's pretty simple. I got 2 more wheels and hubs to put on. And on the way home we had a vibration at certain speeds. Like I could hit a bump and it would vibrate. I could hit the brakes and slow down and it would go away for a while, hit a bump again, it would start. And I think I found it. I was under here looking around at the wiring and just checking out the suspension just to make sure it's not worn out. And look at this side, and this looks pretty good. Put some light on it. This is pretty good. Usually they'll wear up here what they hit on the bottom, right in here. And I know a lot of guys are going to say, oh, how rusty, how rusty. This is nothing. This is surface rust. It's just a crappy paint job from this is made by Kaufman Trailers. And they just do it. In the year of this trailer, they did a horrible paint job, you know. Anyway, so I'm looking at this, looking for wear items, making sure nothing's bent, because I'm trying to figure out why we had accelerated wear on those 2 tires. You see, looks pretty decent. Got some crap wiring. Oh, look at that. The bushing is out of the axle. I wonder if it's shorted out there. I wonder if that's part of my problem. Right there. Can't tell if it's shorted out or not. Is it through? Can't tell. Yeah, I'll have to get in there and inspect that good. But they've replaced the backing plates, as you can see, and they use those glorious crimp connectors, no heat shrink. You know, just a crappy connection. And probably another crappy connection here. Yeah. Anyways, we'll redo all that. Of course, I gotta fix all that nonsense. That ought to be fun. But my vibration, I believe, is right here. Like, this is not, more than likely, not the hanger worn out. Probably what it is this bolt right here has been used and wore into that steel. It's like cut into it, and you can see the difference in how much room's here to the other side. Look, at bushings out too. that's cut. You know, this is it. I didn't know this, but well, that bushing's kind of there. This wire, when you cut this and you go to strip it, it is double insulated. Like there's an outside coating and an inside coating you have to strip off. Yeah, we'll fix all that. I don't know if we'll do backing plates or not. We'll have to see. But we'll check these axles real good to make sure they're not bent. Let's see. Yeah, look, it's that this sleeve is fine. The bolt has worn through the steel, or the steel through the bolt, one or the other. So we'll have to fix that. We'll get in. Hopefully it's just the bolt. We can just get a new bolt, and the equalizer's okay, because usually the wear on the top side, it'll get sloppy. But look at this torque tube they decided to use. Looks like a 3x4 piece of box tube. Kind of thick. Goes back behind there. It's probably 24 feet long, I imagine. Goes all the way up to the front. It has a spare tire holder too. That's what this stuff is here. You see, slide a spare tire in that girl. Pretty nice. Anyway, so what I have to decide. Oh, there's a. Oh, it's not a tag. That's just the rest of the powder coating left on the axle. Thought there was a tag on the axle. Got the VIN. I'll call the manufacturer and have them send me the specs on the whole entire trailer, like the pound per foot on that I-beam and all that kind of stuff. Because I have to decide if we're going to leave this as a completely straight deck, which is, you know, very attractive to me for our intended use, because I can put my side-by-side, my skid steer, and my Ford tractor on this trailer at one time and have plenty of deck length and not be overweight as well. Alright, we're back together, and I've got that all jumpers, and we're going to check the lights real quick. Go ahead and turn the parking lights on. Parking lights. Okay, it's working. That one's not going to work, obviously. That's working. Good. Good, good. That one's missing. And here's good. And both those are good. Okay, give me a right turn. Leave a parking light on, turn right turn. Your other right turn. Okay. Okay, that works. Alright, left turn. Okay, that's working. And that's working. Okay, turn them all off. Alright, so at this point, I'm kind of as far as I want to go with this right now. I wanted to get a general assessment of what it was, what it needs, and what I need to change to make it work for us. So right now I'm just going to take it to the other property and drop it off. I called the manufacturer, got the specs on it. It was originally ordered this way as a 31-foot long trailer. The GVW of this trailer was derated. They had it set at 9,999 pounds, which is very, very common for people to do, because in most states, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration says that if you're pulling a trailer behind your vehicle and the GVW, that trailer is 10,000 pounds or less, that GVW does not get added to your tow vehicle, which can keep you, a lot of situations, under CDL. So if your truck was up to 26,000 pounds, you could still pull a 10,000 pound GVW trailer behind it and not need a CDL, commercially speaking. Privately, you don't need a CDL regardless of GVW. And people get this confused. They think because their truck and their trailer combined for their own personal use, not in commerce, is over 26,000, need a CDL. It's not the case. A CDL is that. It's a commercial driver's license, meaning your truck is being used in commerce, some way to advance, to make money, so on and so forth. So personally, doesn't matter. This could be 80,000 pounds. You don't need a CDL. But I don't know if we'll have it rated back up to what it was built to. The specs on this trailer are 16,000 pound GVW, and part of that is achieved by the fact that you see how far back the axles are set on the trailer, and that's how you can achieve a higher GVW, because you're putting more load on the tow vehicle, which works for us just fine. we're not going any farther with this right now. I got a good idea of what all it's going to take. I got some changes I want to make, and I just don't want to start on this now. I want to finish projects I've got going and then come on to this. I need this particular trailer for the ground height and the deck length. I was looking for 24 feet. This one's 31. I'm okay with that. Works just fine. So hope you guys enjoyed this. That's all I got for now. We'll bring you back when we're ready to do some work to it. Thanks for watching.